When our structural engineer looked at it, he said, I've never seen or measured a straighter, squarer, more vertical building. I certainly didn't dream of ever owning anything like this.
Should we go inside and have a look?
Yeah, sure.
Come on.
Yeah. There we are.
Wow.
How's that?
Oh. Look at that.
Cathedral-like space.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Pat, what do you think when you stand in the space like this now and start imagining what it might be as home? Can you do it?
We want it to be very modern inside, lots of glass. I like the clean lines of today's furnishings and floorings and things like this.
What I'm more intrigued to see at this point is that big tank upstairs, because that's the entire reason for this building.
Do you want to have a look?
I'd love to see it.
Come on then.
Come on then.
This water tower was one of thousands dotted along the country's railway lines. Today, most have been demolished, but thankfully the water tower at Settle remains. And I want to delve deeper into this beautiful building's history. Grade 2 listed, Mark and Pat's tower is built of sandstone, cast iron and glass. Now, the tower basically had a water tank right on the top of it that could hold 43,000 gallons of water. And all of that water came through by gravity across to the railway line and fill those super thirsty steam locomotive trains. And what's amazing is the water tank had a capacity to fill 8 big locomotives without needing to be refilled. It was in 1939 that the water tower actually took on a very different use. It began to be used for horse stabling, and we know that because there was 4 horse stalls built in there and a cobbled floor installed. And actually Mark found the most incredible thing in the walls of the tower. He found a mini time capsule, and in here there's little notes about the guys who actually did the work at the time. But from 1968, the tower became redundant as mainline steam was no longer used on British railways. Of the 8 towers that were on the Settle to Carlisle line, unfortunately Mark and Pat's is the only one to survive, a unique remnant of the age of steam.
Welcome to Settle Swimming Baths.
Look at that. It's fantastic.
Well, a week ago it was an ice rink.
God, it's massive, actually. And what room are you going to put up here? What's it going to be?
Well, we've imaginatively called it the roof room.
Yeah.
A lounge.
It's Von Seal, does what it says on the tin.
But it's going to sit back from the tank edge by about 1 metre. So, and obviously it'll peep above the edge of the tank.
I'm just wondering if there's a way you could reuse these to make your balustrades.
Well, that has crossed my mind. Some of them are pretty...
Some of them are too slender, but
yes.
These ones here...
Yes, yes.
These biggies could easily be burned up and
it would be
cut
rather
into
a charming thought to...
really nice.
To use them.
Your floor level, by the time you build it all up, you could be up...
Something off second step
probably
of the
here.
ladder, perhaps. Yeah.
That's perfect, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And with a 360 panorama there. And we've got the Settle to Carlisle Railway, most important.
Unbelievably beautiful.
A new contemporary-style one-storey annex will be built on the back of the original tower. A stairway will lead up to an enlarged glass and steel front door with a raised porch. On the ground floor will be 2 bedrooms, a bathroom and a utility room and toilet in the annex. The main entrance will open onto a landing with a stairway going up to the first floor, where there'll be a 12-metre-long living room and an adjacent kitchen. An internal stairway will lead up to the water tank, where there'll be a glass and steel roof extension and a roof terrace either side. Their building design is inspirational and brave, but I think they've missed a trick.
You come in through the front door and you go automatically upstairs. How do you then get to your bedroom? You have to go down another internal stair.
You would go out into the utilities, kitchen sort of area, and down the stairs.
As much as I like the idea that you come in and then you can walk up this beautiful grand staircase to the first floor, I think it's madness to not have some form of steps down in here to get to your bedroom level if need be.
Okay.
Just if you need to.
Mark and Pat have got planning permission to convert the tower into a dwelling, but have yet to get approval for their design.
Clearly our next step is to go to building regs design stage, and we don't want to waste money on that if it's going to
Absolutely
not be approved. So we have not yet got in writing the approval.
Mark does, however, have permission to carry out repair work on the building and begins the painstaking job of repainting the rusty tank in its original Midland Railway colours.
Each has got three sort of colour components. The middle bit was a colour called Denby Pottery Cream, and that's going to be Venetian Red. And then the outer bits, a colour called Dark Brunswick Green.
Mark's recycling original materials too. I'm pleased he's taken up my idea of reusing the metal bracing rods from inside the tank. I'm joining Mark and local blacksmith David Clements to see how they're getting on.
How are you?
Hi.
Nice to see you. Are you well?
Very well.
Hello, sir. How are you?
David in his office.
David, I am very, very jealous of your office.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? These are the stanchions.
The reusing bit, yeah.
Yeah, the tie bars
Yep.
from within the tank.
Yep.
And we're forging them into stanchions.
How do you even get that the right diameter? How do you do it?
Well, I'll put a little mark in it,
Yeah.
which you can just see a centre punch mark just there.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. Yeah. So you know that point.
I'm going to cut through there because I've already worked out the circumference of the bar, and that's exactly that length. So when it's wrapped around, they should just meet with just a nice gap there for a weld.
For centuries, blacksmiths had traditionally stamped their initials on their metalwork. David wants me to help him out.
Have I got like one chance at this?
Yes.
Thanks.
So we've got a nice orange heat in this now. Okay.
Okay.
Take the block out.
Spin that.
Yeah.
Okay, nearly there. So
There.
I'm going to yank
Right,
hard
go
with this.
on.
Ready?
Yeah. Go on,
Does that
keep
not-
going. Right. There, can you see?
Did I do it right? Is that in enough?
That's in enough. It'll be there.
I'll touch it.
Yeah, it'll still be warm.
A mark in history for years and years and years to come. Oh, it's always great coming up here. I love it. So what's going on?
Well, we're making the hole for the stairway that's coming up here.
So drilling through to get rid of the water.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
And then trying to get these beasts out. God, they're massive.
Well, those haven't moved for 135 years.
God, they're amazing, actually. The threads are still in pretty good nick, aren't they?
If you're feeling strong, can you just lift that one out you're standing on?
There are no bolts holding that.
There's no bolt holding this.
No.
And
But
I'm
it's-
standing on it.
It's a big beam.
It's resting on two beams. It can't
I
fall
might
through.
just, like, gently stand back over there. Is that all right?
Under his planning permission, Mark is allowed to build a two-storey extension at the back of the tower.
And then what's going on around here, then? So what, we've got the big...
This
is
is-
the extension. Whoa, look at that.
Yep. Extension.
Look
This
at
has
that.
flown up in the last fortnight.
Fantastic.
The planning process has been quite complicated.
So you've got planning for everything to do with the old building, but you haven't got planning for the glass box on the roof yet.
Yeah, we've got planning, but
But the glass box is a big, big step
Yes.
for this building, isn't it? So
that's
what's the
going to have
planner's
to
view?
be a separate amendment to the planning application. In essence, we kick off another 28 days of a planning consultation.
But in terms of the design of this box, what's it going to look like? Because I mean, the impact of this thing
Yes.
on top of this old building is really important. I mean, the
Yeah.
balance of not just scale and proportion, but also about how it's detailed and what it's made out of and how elegant it is unbelievably important.
The whole
isn't it?
emphasis is on the word ethereal. The roof will be as thin as possible, consistent with insulation and structural strength. And it takes its inspiration from the 1920s, in fact. Mies van der Rohe, and specifically his pavilion in Barcelona.
One of my favourite buildings in the world, in fact.
Oh, well.
It is.
Now, we don't know if Settle's ready for Maes van der Rohe. We're onto something here, and I just hope that that planning application goes through smoothly. Clearly, we can't start building it until we've got the formal approval.
Victorian industrial buildings were not only built for purpose, but they were also aesthetically pleasing. Mark and Pat are determined to conserve as many of the original features as they can. Glazier Michael Gott is restoring the metal-framed windows.
You can't just get anybody doing it, you need to have the experience, because obviously every single bar on the frame is different sizes. They twist, they warp over the years. It's over a 125-year-old window. It's had a lot of weather at it. So we basically have to tailor-make every single pane. So now we're going to put the pane of glass in, applying equal pressure. Bearing in mind it's not wood, it's metal. So if you push too hard, it'll break. The time and effort that would have gone into these frames, we would produce in an hour now, whereas this frame would have probably taken 1 man 3 days to make. Craftsmen, really, really incredible, and it's a pleasure to work on them, to keep something so old. These will last another 100, 150 years.
Using a huge crane, the roof room is lifted in one piece into its final destination. It's more than Pat could have ever dreamed of.
I'm absolutely elated now this is finally here.
I think we can consider the back of the job's broken now, and it's just twiddly bits. Remember this all the days of our lives, and we'll look forward to living in it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
When they first bought it, the tower had been a derelict shell for most of the last century. Mark and Pat have now transformed this relic from Britain's industrial past into a home for their retirement.
Morning.
Morning, George.
How are you?
Okay.
It looks fantastic. You must be so proud of it. All of the cleaning up that you did on the top of the tank looks absolutely stunning. Having that rooftop extension up there is mind-bogglingly beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the plan there was to make it look ethereal and as invisible as you can make a building look. It's all worked superbly well.
Do you think you've been quite brave, the two of you, by doing something like
I
this?
suppose in retrospect we definitely have been rather brave. It sort of overtook us and we didn't really stop to think, we just did it.
Shall we go inside?
Sure.
Yeah.
Come
Lead
on.
the way.
Welcome to the roof room.
Yep, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And there's the train.
Yeah, that's the 11.
Look at that.
1146.
That's what it's all about. There's the 1146
It's on time.
to Carlisle. If it wasn't for that railway line, this building wouldn't be here. This restoration project would not have happened.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the continuance of the railway line, that's the thing. Here, look. So it opens up wide onto the...
And then from inside world to the beautiful outside world.
Yeah.
What does it feel like being up here? After all this journey, all this restoration journey?
The first time I came up here, I couldn't believe it. The views are just stunning.
What's going to happen to this building in years to come?
It would be nice to think that one day it somehow got absorbed back into the railway.